This episode of the Fiction Writers Podcast is brought to you by the Novel Notebook. With each character and each setting, hundreds of details must be compiled and organized. Far too many for a writer, like you, to keep them cataloged in your brain. The Novel Notebook provides the answer. Visit www.fictionwriterspodcast.com/novel and quickly discover how to organize your materials and take your novel to the next level. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where you will discover tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Here you'll find new energy, new perspectives, new resources, and new ideas that will spark your creativity into a blaze of brilliance. It's easier than you think. Be sure you visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now, get out your notebook, tune in, and let's get started.
Dialogue is super important to the success of your novel, but there are some nuances about it that you need to know about, and they're so simple. My name is Lana McAra. Welcome to the Fiction Writers Podcast, tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. I see it so often in my editing. So many words for said. He yelled, he chortled, he screamed, she coughed, she's just on and on. So what do? When you're in the middle of a section of dialogue and you need to know who is saying what? The rule of thumb is he said, or she said, or they said. But they should refer to one person who is non-binary using the pronoun they. Because unless you are looking at an old movie like silent film kind of thing, people don't say things at the same time. And, that I see with some new writers that don't know the difference, but only one person usually speaks at a time. Even if they're interrupting each other and overlapping, they're saying different words. So he said, she said. Now that might seem boring to you. And yes, there are occasions when you need to use a different word than said. But generally speaking, once every 2 pages at the max. You want those other words to be pointed up by not using them too often. He said, she said disappears after a while. So the reader will see the saids at first, but as they continue reading, they just skip over it, like they absorb it, who's talking, but the said word, they don't even register that anymore. They just keep reading, and that's what you want. If you put too many words in there for said, you're going to wake the reader up and have them thinking about something else, thinking about the word that you put in there rather than absorbing the dialogue. He said, she said, use it and can keep it in the standard format. He said, not said he. Said he is not a normal flow for our talk, the way we talk, and so it again wakes the reader up. He said, she said, or use their name. And sometimes you don't have to say said. Sometimes you can just put in some action. Now with dialogue, it's really important that you pace it. So if they're having this interaction and one person's talking, another, and the subject changes, put in some action. Also, add some description. He set the cup on the table, or he set the blue china cup on the table. That's giving you a little more of a picture. And the way he puts it on the table is going to give you his emotion. So when you can get around it, don't even say said. But when you need it, he said, she said. That will stand you in good stead for your entire writing career. Good writing is simple. It's straightforward. It's not fancy, because you want the reader to focus on the story, not on the author's cutesiness. Cutesiness has no place in professional writing. So use he said, she said. Make it easy on yourself. Thank you so much for stopping by at the Fiction Writers Podcast. My name is Lana McAra. See you later. Bye now.
Thank you for tuning into the Fiction Writers Podcast with Lana McAra, where we share tips, tricks, and ideas for fiction that is #unputdownable. Remember to visit our website at www.fictionwriterspodcast.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Fiction Writers Podcast.